Alright, thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the knowledge-based theory of the firm. This is Team 16 with Aussie, Kwan, and Catherine. Today's agenda is what is knowledge-based theory, foundations of knowledge-based theory, and strategy formulation, difficulties coordinating knowledge, and other ways to coordinate knowledge. So, before we can ask what is knowledge-based theory, we should define knowledge. According to Wikipedia, it's a familiarity with someone or something which can include facts, information, descriptions, or skills acquired through experience or education. Their definition is pretty concise. An example of knowledge is all the facts and information that we are presenting to you now. Through this PowerPoint video, we are giving you an opportunity to acquire more knowledge. Now let's move on to knowledge-based theory. According to Yorku, knowledge-based theory of the firm is when a corporation values knowledge as its primary resource to drive their business. In many ways, it's a great strategy. Because knowledge is complex and hard to imitate, it is unique in the sense that the bodies sustain the knowledge is within the employees. Employees cannot be duplicated, thus hard to imitate each individual's knowledge. You can see how each firm differs in their knowledge resource by seeing how it's embedded in things such as their business processes and organizational culture. In reference to Yorku, the knowledge-based theory was built and expanded upon the resource-based view of the firm. Penrose first promoted it in 1959, and later other intellects extended the theory. In the resource-based view, knowledge is treated just as a general resource and nothing special. It acknowledges its value, but not to the extent that the knowledge-based theory does. The knowledge-based theory recognizes knowledge as a superior resource that can greatly enhance and grow a business. Let's review the foundations of this theory. Transferability, capacity of aggregation, appropriability, specialization in knowledge acquisition, and knowledge requirements of production. So for transferability, we've established that knowledge is a great resource, but what value does it hold if it's not transferable? It is critical that firms find a way to share tacit and explicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is any information that is available through paper, text, information systems, and other public mediums. Tacit knowledge is the know-how of each individual that is harder to share completely. It can be shown most effectively through application demonstrations, as Grant describes tacit knowledge. It's slow, costly, and uncertain. So for the capacity of aggregation is to ease the difficulties in transferring knowledge. It needs to have the ability to be stored and added to existing knowledge. In other words, the knowledge needs to have the potential for aggregation. A common language will definitely enhance aggregation potential when everyone understands the same language. Additionally, some explicit knowledge, such as statistics, can be shared efficiently through a properly implemented information system. As for appropriability is the ability for a person to receive an equally valuable resource to which was given. As mentioned earlier, knowledge can be divided into two categories, tacit and explicit. Tacit is any knowledge someone possesses in their mind but has not written down, like explicit knowledge. It is harder to appropriate because each person absorbs information differently. This is a positive characteristic in the sense it's also harder for other firms to learn. Explicit is easier for people to absorb and is non-rivalrous good. This means anyone can access it fully, like competitors' prices for potential customers. We've touched on this theme throughout the other foundations. Everyone has a limit to acquire, store, and access knowledge, internally and externally. To increase the efficient use of knowledge, different employees need to specialize in a variety of knowledge areas. And lastly, the knowledge requirements of a production is simply that knowledge is the key input in production of a business. Now, with the foundations of theory explained, let's move on to strategy formulation. We're going to go over the definition of strategy and the primary and tangible resource. So, strategy is the long-term plan of action for a business to achieve. This plan consists of activities and decisions that the company may need to use in order to achieve their vision. As for primary intangible resource, it's a knowledge-based theory should primarily rely on the competence of its people. They are the front line of business that ultimately propel the organization in terms of profitability.
Difficulties transferring knowledge. There are 9 basic knowledge transfers or conversions which can create value for an organization. They are transfers or conversions between individuals, from individuals to external structures and vice versa, from individual competence to the internal structure and vice versa, transfers within the external structure, transfers from the external to internal structure and vice versa, and the transfers within the internal structure. The strategic question to ask when dealing with the transfer of knowledge between individuals is, how can we improve the transfer of competence between people in our organization? The most important issues likely have to deal with the trust in the organization. Answer to this question leads to activities focused on trust building, team activity, job rotations, and mentorship programs. Individuals to external structure. The question to ask regarding the transfer of knowledge from individuals to the external structure is, how can the organization's employees improve the competence of customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders? The answers to this question lead to activities focused on empowering employees to help the customers learn about the product. This can be achieved by training customers, doing job rotations with customers, and holding product seminars. External structure to individuals. Employees can learn a lot from customers, suppliers, and feedback. The strategic question to ask is, how can the organization's customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders improve the competence of the employees? Answers resulting from this question usually lead to activities focused on creating and maintaining good personal relationships between employees and customers. Individual competence into internal structure. The main question involving the dissemination of knowledge from an individual to an internal structure such as a database is, how can we improve the conversion of individually held competence to systems, tools, and templates? Answers to this question include activities focused on tools, templates, and processes to streamline the transfer of knowledge. Internal structure to individual competence. Once a system for the transfer of knowledge from an individual to a central database is established, you have to ask, how can we improve individuals' competence by using systems, tools, and templates? Answers to this question lead to activities focused on improving human-computer interactions such as simulations and e-learning environments. Within the external structure. For knowledge transfer between external stakeholders, the main question is, how can we enable conversation between the customers and suppliers to improve their competence to serve their customers? The answer often involves improving the organization's image and the quality of their products. External to internal structures. How can competence from customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders improve the organization's systems, tools, and processes? The answer to this question relies heavily on the quality of information gathered from call centers and the ability to create alliances to generate ideas. Internal to external structure. Within the internal structure, we have to ask, how can the organization's tools and processes be integrated? The answer sounds fairly simple. Integrate IT systems, improving on office layouts, and streamlining databases. The ways to coordinate this knowledge can be broken down into 4 methods: rules and directives, sequencing, routines, group problem solving, and decision making. Rules and directives include etiquette, social norms, and procedures. Sequencing ensures that each specialist's input occurs independently in the appropriate time slot. Routines are also called coordination by mutual adjustment, and they support a high level of individuals performing their own specialized tasks in sync. Unlike the first 3 methods, which seek efficiency through minimizing communication, group problem solving and decision making require more personal contact and communication. In summary, we've discussed what is knowledge-based theory, the foundations of knowledge-based theory, strategy formulation, difficulties coordinating knowledge, and ways to coordinate knowledge. This is our works cited. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation.